In my presentation, I would like to compare two types of bagpipes, Podhalanian and Hutsul. Podhale and Hutsulszczyna are two mountainous Carpathian regions. The choice of bagpipes from these two regions for a comparison is not accidental. As you can see from the illustrations on the slide, even visually, both types may seem similar. The reason is that both Podhalanian and Hutsul bagpipes belong to the same Carpathian family. In Poland, the Podhalanian bagpipes is the only representative of Carpathian bagpipes because the rest of Polish bagpipes belong to the family of Northwest Slavic bagpipes. A popular thesis in Poland explaining how Carpathian type of bagpipes came to Poland is that they were brought by the Vlachs via the Carpathian route during long period of the Vlachian migration. If this were really the case, it would have to happen between the 15th and 17th centuries, and above all, the bagpipes would first have to appear in the Eastern Carpathians, so among the Hutsuls, and only after it they could come to Podhale. For this reason, this thesis may be interesting for scholars of mountainous Ruthenian culture. There is a long belt of Ruthenian settlement on the Vlachian migration route, including the Boykos and Lemkos. As far as I know, in none of these groups, the presence of bagpipes has been documented. There are some traces of bagpipes among the Boykos, but among the Lemkos, the presence of bagpipes is only a speculation. But if bagpipes traveled with the Vlachs from Hutsulszczyna to Podhale, they had to be among the Carpato-Ruthenians too, because they are along the way of the Vlachian migration. If bagpipes came to Podhale through Hutsulszczyna and other Ruthenian areas, then the Podhalanian and Hutsul bagpipes should be related somewhat and should have a common ancestor, and the Boyko and Lemko bagpipes, if they were, of course, should have been descendants of these bagpipes too. A temptation for such a hypothesis can be given by the illustrations from the end of the 18th century drawn by Jan Piotr Norby. They show bagpipers playing a type of bagpipe that is now difficult to recognize. They have features of Podhalanian, Hutsul, even Romanian bagpipes, but they are not uniquely vocally any of them. Interestingly, when Kajetan Kilisinski redrew it in 1840, it was signed Boyko playing. Unfortunately, it was a copy, and it was made 60 years after the original was created, what means 2 generations later. So it does not have reliable documentary value. But it opens a question. Could this be what these proto-bagpipes, the potential common ancestor of the Podhalanian Koza and the Hutsul Duda, looked like? Let us therefore take a look at the similarities between both types of bagpipes. These include single reeds, cylindrical pipes, one multiple chanter, composed of a melodic pipe with at least 5 holes, and semi-melodic pipe with 1 finger hole, and one long-drawn pipe. However, these similarities do not distinguish the pair of Podhalanian and Hutsul bagpipes from other Carpathian bagpipes. Rather, they are the lowest common denominator of the Carpathian family. Also, not very distinctive are mouth-blown type, a back of a whole animal skin, and the lack of the thumb hole in the chanter. They are the markers of the Highlander and archaic character of both instruments, and they can be present in bagpipes belonging to completely different families. So it does not make the discussed pair of bagpipes uniquely similar. So let us make a much more detailed comparison, starting with the chanter, a brain of the bagpipes. The schematic drawings of chanters of the Podhalanian and Hutsul bagpipes are presented on the slide. The difference that is particularly noteworthy is that in the Podhalanian bagpipes, the chanter has three bores: a melodic bore, a semi-melodic bore from the front, and a drone bore from the back, while in the Hutsul bagpipes there are only two bores, similarly like in most of the Carpathian bagpipes. And the following two maps of the occurrence of bagpipes in Slovakia can speak more about the significance of this difference. The first map presents the occurrence of three voices bagpipes, so the bagpipes with a double chanter, as in the case of the Hutsul bagpipes. It shows that between Podhale and Husulszczyna, in the areas close to the Rutenians, the presence of this type of bagpipe was noted. However, its presence was much less frequent than in the western part of Slovakia. The second map presents the occurrence of four voices bagpipes, bagpipes with a triple chanter, as in the case of the Podhalanian bagpipes. And this time no documented instrument of this type appears in the Ruthenian belt between Podhale and Ukraine. Its area is rather western Slovakia, and Podhale seems to be the most eastern stronghold of this type of bagpipes. From the perspective of the Vlachian hypothesis, such spatial distribution is not satisfactory. In the area where the bagpipes are supposed to have come from, there are not many of them. Moreover, between Podhale and Hutsul region, it seems to be a border of innovation that should be explained as Podhalanian or maybe Western Slovak. Maybe this modification was introduced when Vlachian bagpipes were adopted by the Podhale Highlanders. But when you look at the wider map of double and triple bored bagpipes in the Carpathian Basin, it seems that it could have been quite the opposite. Triple chanter bagpipes are in Podhale and near Croatian border, on the periphery of the region, and in the center there are double chanter bagpipes. So either they must have been independently modified on the northern and southern edges of the area, or maybe there was some cultural exchange between Podhale and Croatia. Or the last scenario, maybe the triple chanter is archaic, preserved in the highest part of Carpathian mountains. And the last scenario would not fit the Vlachian hypothesis. When you look at the iconography of the Podhalanian bagpipes, and the oldest representation is a drawing by Ignaz de Blumenfeld in 1809, you can see that the Podhalanian bagpipes had at least a two-bored chanter already at the beginning of the 19th century, and therefore probably earlier. At least two-bored, because the third back-drawn bore may not have been shown in the picture. And what's more, the drawing has a rather small but strange detail, difficult to interpret, which may even suggest four pipes in the chanter block. It would mean that the modern Podhalanian bagpipes are not so much the result of adding bores to the original double chanter, which would be consistent with the Vlachian hypothesis, but even that the number of chanter bores was reduced with time. But maybe this detail should not be exaggerated. In other old illustrations, the chanter is also at least double bored, but without any details suggesting more pipes. However, it's worth to notice that the chanter is not prolonged with any kind of bell or horn, what will be important for a moment. So let us move on to the next difference, in my opinion, the most important, because this feature significantly modifies not only the musical construction feature of the instrument, but also it affects the performance style. Namely, in the Podhalanian bagpipes, the semi-melodic bowl is closed, and in the Hutsul bagpipes, it's open and extended with a small bell horn. Since the closing of the semi-melodic pipe is not present in any neighboring region to Podhale, this feature of Podhalanian bagpipes was extremely surprising to Polish researchers to the extent that they stated hypothesis of importing the instrument by the Podhalanian Highlanders from some southern country, from Hungary or Balkans. And because the imported instrument did not really meet local needs, it was modified perhaps quite recently. It's worth noting here that the closed semi-melodic bowl is a feature subject to variation, and among the 19th century examples of Podhalanian bagpipes, there are also bagpipes with an open bowl. What is more, among Ukrainian bagpipes, the bagpipes from Tarnopol, which are in the picture comes from the Duda Facebook page, bagpipes similar to Hutsul one, but which doesn't have an extension for the semi-melodic pipe. It doesn't mean that the lack of extension means that semi-melodic pipe was closed, of course. But it's clear that when we take into account all variants of Podhalanian and Hutsul bagpipes, the difference between Podhalanian and Hutsul bagpipes becomes not so strong. When you look at the map of the Carpathian Basin bagpipes and spatial distribution of open and closed semi-melodic pipes, it's easy to see, for the second time, a center-periphery pattern, with the center in Hungary and Slovakia and the peripheries in Podhale and Croatia. This pattern is even clearer if we mark on the map the intermediate variant between the closed pipe and the prolonged open pipe, a chanter without any extensions. What is in Duda from Tarnopol. And this special distribution suggests that closed or not prolonged, not extended semi-melodic chanter is the older variant. This chronology can be also justified by the iconography, as we can see in the Hungarian 16th century graphic on the slide. As for the extensions themselves, three types are visible in the Carpathian Basin. Hungarian, where the extension is a wooden tube, Hungarian Slovak type with a horn made of cow horn or metal, and Eastern Balkan type with a characteristic angular bell visible in the Hutsul bagpipes. A similar bell can be observed in Bulgarian, Greek Macedonian, and Romanian bagpipes. Although, and here's an important note, these are bagpipes with a single board chanter. Hutsul bagpipes with such an extension and a double chanter are different than the rest. The geographical distribution of angular bell is interesting because it corresponds to the roots of the Vlachian migrations. If this element actually indicated such their arrival to Husulszczyna, it would be necessary to explain how the chanter was transformed from a single board to a double board. And angular bell is not the only feature that connects Hutsul bagpipes with Bulgarian and Romanian bagpipes. When you look at the Hutsul chanter, you get the impression that it's a single board, because the boards are carved in one thin piece of wood. A similar impression can be had when looking at the archaeological bagpipe from Beresteczko from 1651. The picture comes from the Duda Facebook page, which would mean that it's an old and stable feature. Hungarian and Slovak chanters are different and designed as stylized two pipes next to each other, although this is only stylization, because the chanter is carved in one piece. The same feature is characteristic of Museum Podhalanian bagpipes. From the external appearance of the chanter, one can conclude that it has at least two bores. And as we have seen from the oldest representations of Podhalanian bagpipes, this feature refers to the construction of the chanter from the beginning of the 19th century. Geographically, chanters stylized as two connected pipes are found in the west of the Carpathian Basin, in the region from Podhale, Slovakia and Hungary to Croatia, where there is even no stylization, and in fact there are two separate pipes which are connected to each other. Here there are two examples of Hungarian and Croatian bagpipes where the double chanters are made of two separate pipes which are connected to each other by the so-called yoke, and additionally stamped with metal, which resembles a similar detail in the chanter of the Podhalanian bagpipes. Chanters in the shape of a single piece of wood are concentrated on the Hungarian, Croatian, Serbian, Romanian border, which is continued by the Hutsul bagpipes. Again, this is a distribution that may resemble the route of the Vlachian migrations. Another difference in the Podhalanian and Hutsul chanters concerns the finger arrangement. In Podhale, it's one hole in a semi-melodic pipe on the right side of player. I would call it 1 plus 5. And in Hutsulszczyna, it's inversely, a hole in a semi-melodic pipe on the left side of player. So 5 plus 1. And the geographical distribution of both types is somewhat similar to the previous map. We can see the concentration of the 5 plus 1 arrangement on the Croatian, Hungarian, Serbian, Romanian border, which continues all the way to Ukraine. This would therefore be another feature with a spatial distribution correlated with the Vlachian migration route and distinguishing the Hutsul bagpipes from most Western Carpathian bagpipes, where the 1 plus 5 arrangement dominates. Finally, another feature separating the western part of the Carpathian Basin from the eastern one can be noticed. It's the length of the drone, measured by the number of segments. The farther east, the fewer segments there are, up to the Romanian-Moldovan border, when the drone is a single segment. Here you can see a likely single segment drone of the Moldavian bagpipes in the picture from the 50s of 19th century. And interestingly, the shape of the drone both distinguishes and unites the Hutsuls and Podhalanian bagpipes due to the lack of horn bells. However, it's worth noticed that in historical representations of the Podhalanian bagpipes, the drones were ended with horns. And it seems that in 19th century, some of Podhalanian bagpipes had drone bell and some of them not. Also, it's worth to mention some more ephemeral features like terminology or decoration, which also are traces of Eastern Balkan origin and can be found in Hutsul bagpipes, but are rare in Western Carpathian bagpipes, like a name for chanter, derivatives of karaba, for Hutsul bagpipes it's karabki, and a leg of goat head, a typical decoration of northwestern Slavic bagpipes. So to sum up, most of the similarities between the Podhalanian and Hutsul bagpipes are general Carpathian features. In turn, most of the differences are really differences that concern not only the Podhalanian and Hutsul bagpipes, but also differences between the Western and Eastern Carpathian bagpipes in general. What is more, in comparison to other Western Carpathian bagpipes, the Podhalanian bagpipes seems to represent a more rake type, an older type. These facts do not look favorable to the Vlachian hypothesis. Rather, they support the thesis of at least two diffusion routes in the Carpathian Basin. The western one on the Croatia-Hungary-Slovakia-Podhale line, and the eastern one on the Serbia-Romania-Hutsulszczyna line. The Vlachian hypothesis could only be defended by proving that some incredible divergence occurred between the Podhalanian and Hutsul bagpipes as a result of influences from the south, Croatia, Hungary, and Slovakia for Podhale, or Romania, Moldova for Hutsulszczyna. However, the distinctiveness of the Podhalanian bagpipes and the rare features that distinguish them from the Slovak and Hungarian bagpipes reduce the strength of such a hypothesis. Most likely, the Vlachian influence stopped in the Hutsul region, and the western areas acquired the Carpathian type bagpipes in a different way. Thank you very much.